All right, so hey everyone, welcome back for another deep dive with us. Today we're going to be taking a look at, well, something that uh, might not seem super exciting at first glance. It's the King's Academy Rowner March newsletter. But as always with these things, I think that, you know, we often find kind of some interesting hidden details.
Yeah, exactly. And newsletters are often overlooked, but they can actually be really valuable. They give us a peek behind the curtain, into the school's priorities and any upcoming challenges. And of course, they're packed with all the need-to-know dates for events.
Right. And speaking of those dates, parents, mark your calendars
Yeah.
because March 6th is World Book Day. And, they're encouraging the kids to come in dressed in their PJs or onesies.
Oh, that's cute.
Yeah, it's going to be, I can already picture the chaos, in the morning, everyone trying to find their favorite onesie.
I know, but it's all in the name of reading, so
Exactly.
how can you say no to that?
It's a good cause for sure.
It's all about making reading fun and accessible, especially for those younger kids.
Right.
And honestly, I think it might even inspire some parents to, maybe join in and read a bit themselves.
Crack open a book. It's a good idea.
Put on your PJs and get cozy.
Speaking of fun, though, there's another event happening that same week, the girls' biggest ever football session on March 7th. And it's not just a football session, right?
No, it's cleverly timed to coincide with International Women's Day,
Oh, right.
which sends a really strong message about female empowerment,
Yeah.
and breaking down those gender stereotypes,
Yeah.
especially in sports.
That's awesome.
And they're even expecting a visit from MP Dame Caroline Dining-Gay.
Wow.
So
That's cool.
wouldn't it be amazing if she joined in for a kickabout?
Oh, can you imagine? That would be so cool.
What an inspiration.
Oh, now that would be front page news. So it's a busy day on March 7th because after school they've also got the Dance Live fundraiser. They'll be having the usual cake sale and lucky dip,
Yeah.
and all that good stuff.
Yeah.
So make sure to come out and support the dance team as they head to the finals.
Yeah. They did great at the Heat, so let's keep that momentum going.
Exactly.
And don't forget, while we're on the topic of supporting the school, there's the chocolate raffle coming up. Tickets go on sale from March 31st to April 3rd, and the drawing's on the 28th.
Ooh, chocolate. That's dangerous for me.
Right. Always a good cause, though.
Yeah, well,
Yeah.
I can't resist a good raffle, especially when chocolate's involved.
I can.
But, amidst all this fun stuff, we do need to address something a little bit more serious.
Yes, you're talking about the whole Squid Games phenomenon, right?
Yeah, it's everywhere, all over social media. And, as a parent, it's definitely causing me some anxiety
Right.
because it's just not suitable for young children at all.
Right. And to the school's credit, they're tackling this head on in the newsletter. They're advising parents not to directly bring it up with their kids because that might actually pique their curiosity,
Right, yeah.
But if the kids do mention it, be open to having conversations about it. Just focus on the age appropriateness.
It's tough, though, isn't it? Trying to find that balance
Yeah.
between, sheltering them from everything and also making sure they're not exposed to things that are just not right for their age.
Exactly. And the school is doing a good job providing some resources for parents, to help navigate these conversations.
Yeah, they highlighted the NSBCC helpline
Yes, that's a great resource.
and also reminded everyone about the Netflix parental controls, which, we all need a reminder about sometimes.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
It's so easy to forget about those things.
Yeah, I know I do. So it's a good reminder for all of us to double check those settings and make sure they're up to date.
Definitely.
And speaking of online safety, the newsletter also had a little section about WhatsApp,
Oh, right.
reminding everyone about the age restriction of 13 plus age limit. Which I think is a good reminder because a lot of kids are using WhatsApp these days.
It's so easy to just forget about those age limits, especially as technology just becomes so, integral to our lives.
Yeah.
So maybe this is a good opportunity for families to have a conversation about, phone rules and online behavior. Just set some healthy boundaries before those tricky situations actually come up.
I like that, turning those newsletter prompts into like proactive family discussions.
Exactly.
That's a good idea. Okay, so on a lighter note, there's an update about the new uniform supplier, Print and Sew. Remember we were all wondering when they were going to be up and running?
Oh, yeah.
Well, it sounds like they're aiming to start supplying sooner than expected, which is great news.
And this could potentially mean some savings for parents, too, because the newsletter mentioned Print and Sew having more competitive pricing compared to School Kit.
Well, that's always welcome news, isn't it?
Yeah, who doesn't love saving a little money?
Now, this next item in the newsletter I think is particularly interesting because it's a chance for us as parents to get more involved. They're still looking for new governors.
Oh, that's great. It's a fantastic opportunity to really contribute to the school community and have a say, in the decisions that affect our children's education. So if anyone's interested, the newsletter encourages you to contact the chair of governors directly, Sue McAdam.
And speaking of having a say, the "you said that we did" section highlights something that's clearly been on parents' minds, which is cars using that space in front of the car park.
Right.
And it sounds like there have been some safety concerns there.
Yeah, and rightfully so. So it's good that the school is taking that feedback seriously and urging parents to use the designated drop-off areas instead.
Yeah, absolutely.
We all need to do our part to keep those pedestrian walkways safe, even if it means, a few extra minutes in the drop-off line.
It's true. Sometimes it's easy to get caught up in the morning rush, but safety has to come first.
Absolutely.
So I think before we move on, let's just take a quick pause for our listeners to absorb all this information. What stood out to you so far? Any surprises or burning questions?
Yeah, let us know your thoughts. Yeah, it's a lot to process, isn't it? And actually, we're not even done yet. The newsletter also highlights the school's current attendance rate, sitting at 94.8% with a target of 96%.
It's funny how those attendance figures are kind of easy to overlook sometimes. But they really are important.
They are. They really are.
It makes you think about those days where your child maybe just has a bit of a sniffle and you're debating whether or not to keep them home.
Exactly.
And while, of course, you want them to be comfortable, and recover quickly, it's also important to remember that even those seemingly small absences, they can add up.
They do.
And that can actually have an impact on their learning. And their engagement in the classroom.
Absolutely.
The newsletter does mention that letters are sent home for attendance below 95%, which I think is a fair approach.
Yeah, it's a gentle nudge. Just a little reminder.
Just a reminder to be mindful.
Exactly.
Sometimes we need that. Speaking of reminders, let's not forget about those upcoming Year 6 SATs.
Oh, yes, of course.
The newsletter mentions parent-teacher meetings are taking place the week of March 31st, which is good timing, I think.
It is. It's strategically timed to give teachers a chance to provide feedback and address any concerns before those big exams.
Exactly, yeah.
So I'm sure those meetings will be very valuable.
Yeah, for both the parents and the students.
Absolutely.
And while we're talking about support,
yes,
I wanted to just circle back to the call for new governors. It really is a great way to get involved.
It is.
And it's not just about attending meetings. It's about shaping the future of the school.
It is.
You can share your perspective.
Yeah, absolutely.
You can advocate for your child's needs.
Yes.
And you could just make sure that the school is really meeting the needs of the whole community.
It's about taking ownership.
Yeah.
Rather than just observing from the sidelines.
I like that. That's a good way to put it.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's not forget about all the fun things happening as well. Cake sales and lucky dips, who doesn't love those?
Oh, always a winner.
The Dance Live fundraiser on March 7th. Sounds like it's going to be a blast.
Absolutely.
And it's a great way to support the school's dance team as well.
And have some fun while you're at it.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And of course, World Book Day on March 6th. Encouraging the kids to come in their PJs or onesies. What a brilliant idea.
It's so fun.
It is. It is.
And it just gets them excited about reading.
And it makes it feel less like a chore.
Exactly.
Which I think is really important.
Yes.
And we can't forget about the girls' biggest ever football session.
Oh, yes.
Such a fantastic event. Tying it in with International Women's Day.
Yeah.
Encouraging the girls to get involved in sport.
And promoting that idea of, breaking down those gender stereotypes.
Yes, exactly.
It's great.
And who knows, maybe MP Dame Caroline Deningay will even join in for a kickabout.
Oh, imagine.
I know, it'd be amazing. But amidst all this excitement, it is important to circle back to a topic we talked about earlier, and that's online safety.
Yes, of course.
The section on WhatsApp, I think, is particularly relevant, with so many young people using it these days. It's easy to forget that there is an age restriction of 13 plus.
Yeah, and that age restriction is there for a reason. It's about protecting children from content and interactions that might not be appropriate, for their developmental stage.
Right.
So I think the school is doing the right thing by prompting these conversations about responsible phone use.
Absolutely. It's about giving our kids the tools they need to navigate the online world safely.
Exactly.
And we shouldn't forget about the Squid Games discussion either. I
Yeah,
feel a little bit uncomfortable. But these are important conversations to be having
they are.
as parents.
It's about being proactive,
Yeah.
not reactive.
Right.
It's about creating that open dialogue with our children
Right.
so that they feel comfortable coming to us if they encounter something unsettling online.
Absolutely. As we've been going through this newsletter, it's really struck me just how much information is packed into these pages.
It really is.
It's a testament to the school's commitment
Yeah,
to keeping parents informed and
absolutely.
engaged.
Yeah.
It's not just about academics. It's about creating a well-rounded experience
Yes,
for every child,
absolutely.
addressing their emotional and social needs as well.
Very important.
And it's clear that King's Academy Rowner is taking that responsibility very seriously.
Yeah, you are.
They're not shying away from the tough topics. They're
Mhm.
fostering a love of learning. And they're encouraging parental involvement every step of the way.
It's really quite impressive.
It is. It is.
And they've even managed to squeeze in some fun events along the way.
I know, right? It's like
Yeah.
they've found that perfect balance
Yeah.
between, those essential reminders and those opportunities for connection
Huh.
and celebration
Yeah,
and community building.
exactly.
So before we wrap up,
Yes.
I want to leave our listeners with a little something to ponder. We've covered a lot of ground today, from exciting events to, some more thought-provoking discussions.
Yeah, a real mixed bag.
So we're curious, what resonated with you the most? What sparked your interest?
Yeah, what are you going to be discussing with your family tonight at the dinner table?
Yeah, maybe it's the call for new governors or the online safety reminders. Or maybe you're just excited about seeing all those little ones in their PJs on World Book Day.
Oh, I can't wait
Okay.
for that.
I know, right?
Whatever it is. Just take a moment to reflect on what really stood out to you from this deep dive into the King's Academy Rowner March newsletter.
And, maybe this will even spark an idea for the next You Said We Did section. Because let's be honest, sometimes these newsletters are so packed, it's easy to miss those little details.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, it's a two-way street, right? The school's putting in the effort to communicate, but it's up to us as parents to actually engage with the information, ask questions, share our thoughts.
Exactly. So consider this your call to action. King's Academy Rowner parents,
Yeah.
don't just skim the newsletter. Really dive in. What events are you circling on your calendar? What topics are you going to be talking about with your kids?
Yeah, what feedback do you have for the school?
Because at the end of the day, we're all in this together.
Right.
We all want what's best for our children. And that starts with a strong collaborative relationship between parents and the school.
Couldn't have said it better myself.
So, on that note, I think we've reached the end of our deep dive into the King's Academy Rowner March newsletter. Hopefully you found it informative and insightful, and maybe even a little bit inspiring.
Yeah, even those seemingly ordinary pieces of paper can really spark those important conversations and raise awareness about key issues and ultimately help us create a better learning environment for our children.
Well said. Well said. So until next time, everyone, keep those lines of communication open, stay engaged, and keep diving deep into the world around you.